Hey there, welcome to Conley's Cool ESL. In this video, we are talking technology. We are going to talk about some teacher stuff. You might have some devices sitting in your classroom right now, right? Maybe they're Chromebooks, iPads, maybe some laptops. Well, what are we going to do with them, right? Or, there's probably a lot of problems with having those devices in the room. It's just such a mess. I just want to go back to old teaching. If you're feeling that way, we'll talk about some one-to-one classroom fails. And then we'll talk about some possible tips to turn that ship around and making you the superhero of one-to-one technology. So let's get started. That first thing that might come up, the first issue might be that they just sit in the cart and they only come out for special activities. Not great, because you want students to always have access to the device, which gives them an opportunity to build upon basic tech digital skills. It might be very simple, like adjusting the brightness on the device, or maybe it's just practice typing. With that device always with them, they're going to have those opportunities, but if it just stays in a cart, you won't see as quick of an improvement. Let's go on to another one. Another hashtag tech fail that you might see is teachers kind of throwing their arms up and going, the kids just go on YouTube. And YouTube's not that bad, right? I mean, you're probably watching it on this video on YouTube. Yeah, YouTube, playing music videos, watching TV shows, probably not the most academic reasons to use that device. So what can we do about curbing that desire to just go on for personal reasons? We'll talk about that. Let's look at a third example. A third one-to-one tech fail might be you don't use a learning management system. Your classroom isn't online. When kids do projects, there's no way to hand out assignments, collect the assignments, give feedback, do lots of cool stuff. If you're not doing that with your one-to-one devices, that might be a reason why it's just not getting off the ground the way you want. Let's go on to a fourth possible issue. The fourth reason why your one-to-one classroom might not be getting off the ground is you don't feel as if you have enough opportunities to learn more. Yeah, that might be a little hard. If you don't really know what you're doing, no wonder that the kids can't really use the devices. It's difficult for you to teach yourself and teach them at the same time, right? So totally understandable, and that might be one of those possible issues why your one-to-one classroom isn't as cool as the other person down the hall who uses them every day. Understandable. Let's go on to a fifth possible reason why. That fifth possible reason why could be that, you just use it for typing essays and you feel as if it's just replicating what you already do in the classroom. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, you're typing essays. That's first stage of going one-to-one. You want to replicate some of the things you already do on paper and then shift. Over time, that's just going to move up from there, and you're going to be able to do things you never could have conceivably done without a device. So relax, it's okay. But let's go on to the next part where we'll talk about some tips so that you can be the superhero of tech at your school. Let's go. First thing, find reasons to get those devices in your students' hands more often. But how are you going to do that? I would first recommend getting a learning management system. You might hear teachers talking about Google Classroom, Edmodo, Canvas, Schoology, or even Blackboard. Yeah, Blackboard. If you were in college and had Blackboard, yeah, it hasn't gone away. It's still around. Get one of those learning management systems because you need to assign things to kids. You need to give updates to kids, and you might want to do it digitally. You might also want to share possible links to help as like supplemental tools. You might want to make private comments to your students about their work rather than calling them up to your desk and giving them a talking to. The other kids, don't necessarily need to hear that whole conversation. So all in all, get that learning management system. It's going to make your life easier. Workflow is going to be super awesome because it's going to be quick and it'll be digital and live. Let's move on to a second tip. I'm sure you're already an ace with this perhaps, but classroom rules. You have them for the classroom, why not for your device? Yeah, the kids all have iPads. You should probably have some rules for the devices. Maybe you don't like how it's loud all the time and they're watching videos, or maybe you're trying to get their attention when they're very focused on their device. So what can you say and do to convince them to listen to you and give directions? One really big way of going about this is to choose rules that are visible. If you have iPads, for instance, and you want them closed so that they can give you the full attention, tell them to close their covers. Get some covers for those iPads, close them up, or maybe flip their iPads upside down temporarily so that you can give some additional directions and that they can listen and have your full attention. If you have laptops, hey, maybe just saying I want the hands on the desk just so I can see your hands on the desk. But whatever your rules might be, make them visible so that it's not just, make sure that your direction isn't just something like, please let me have your attention. Because what is the definition of that? Does that mean the kids can still type on the computer? Or maybe that means that they should stop doing everything. So my suggestion would be to have rules, but also ones that are visible rules when you ask for the request. So whether it's iPads closed or hands on the desk, something visible so that you can see it and then go on with your teaching life. It'll probably give you a lot less of a headache. Let's go on to another tip. Another tip would be to go out and find some professional development. It might be continuing education classes, maybe you're going to college and you want to take another class again, or maybe you have a teacher center and they're offering classes in technology in the classroom. Well, whatever it might be, go out there and take some initiative. It might not be in your building, but there are opportunities out there for you. Worst comes to worst, find videos online that give you directions of how to use an app, or maybe how do I make a video with students on an iPad? Things like that will be able to start a conversation with a co-teacher, maybe collaborate with other teachers in your building. It'll help grow your own understanding of how to use these devices, and it'll provide more opportunities for your students in terms of what their creativity might lead to. So by all means, please go out there, look for something that'll help you learn more about how to use these devices. Let's go on to our last tip. For our last tip, check out the SAMR model. Who's SAMR? It's okay. You don't really need to get the full explanation, but what I'm going to say is SAMR talks about that progression going from stuff you already do on paper to doing activities that could never have been conceivable without technology. And SAMR is just a great tool to measure how well you're doing that. So you might be a person who has kids do exactly what they would have done on paper. Maybe they're just using a word processor and typing essays. That's okay. But keep in mind that we really want to push kids and give them those opportunities to do activities that were inconceivable without technology. So they might be making movies, or they might be creating a podcast, or maybe they're designing a gallery for an exhibit on something regarding social studies. Those are different opportunities for them to do what they might not have been able to have done before. And having those devices in your classroom are really going to allow you to explore new and innovative ways of teaching and learning. So to wrap this up, we just talked about some different ways that your classroom might be, some one-to-one classroom fails, and then some solutions to go along with them, some possible tips that you can use in the classroom. If you've got any comments to that, please comment below. I will see you next time. Thanks. Hey there, you just watched another video of Conley's Cool ESL. Yeah, we talked about technology this time, and this one was a little bit more for the teachers. But I've got plenty of other videos if you're interested in tech or ESL, or you need that how-to video. I've got something for that. Just click around here. You'll probably find something you like. I'll see you next time.